Have you seen Annihilation yet? Did you see Alex's
I
new...
love it. I
Wasn't
saw
it-
it like a week ago.
wasn't
I
it
was on the
sick?
phone with, I called him like in the middle of the night because I was here, Alex, and I was like, woke him up. I was like, no. He was like, are you okay? I was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm just calling to say I've seen the film, dude.
Did you ask him to explain the ending? Because I'm still trying to figure out the ending.
Well,
of that
I've read the
movie.
book, and
Yeah.
I'm very much into sci-fi, so I've already thought, and about, But,
Yeah, so
yeah, I
good.
have my ideas.
We'll talk off
Yeah.
camera about that. Well, first of all, I'm not just saying this because I'm sitting here. This is hands down the best video game adaptation I've ever seen because the immersion of it, the way you play the part, the emotional element you bring to it, the screaming, the grunting, everything about it. I just felt so
thank you.
immersed in what you were doing. Can you talk about why you think this one hit so well? It's so well done, and also just the way you screamed in the film was like a character, in my opinion.
Well, she's going through some tough times, and I think anyone could imagine if you're being smashed around like she is, it's gonna hurt. But I think I myself, I was 9-10 years old when I walked into a living room at my friend's house and I saw it was a female protagonist in a video game. And hey, I had never seen that. Even Angelina Jolie made her into an icon. I had never seen an action heroine up on the screen at that age, And with this character, she has those she's intelligent, smart, she's relentlessly adventurous, and she's curious. But what I loved with this kind of origin story that I was presented that they wanted to do when I met the director and the producers really brings out the humanity and also a young girl who's open to showing her vulnerability as well, which I think makes us be able to go on her journey, be with her and root for her, because it's not easy for her. And then for each step that she's able to, or development that she does, you root for her and you feel like, wow, I really believe that this girl in the end will be able to bring out the warrior within her.
She was awesome. Now, the last video game movie interview that I did was with Michael for Assassin's Creed, and I was actually just curious, did he talk to you about working on a video game adaptation? Did he give you advice on what he experienced? Did you guys have conversations about that?
I don't think I had any conversations about what it's like to take on a video game genre. I think more what follows you. I think, and that I've thought about sometimes when I've done a fictional character or a person who's lived in real life, that you want to honor what people already know of this character. And hey, Lara Croft has a huge fan base.
Yeah.
And she is known throughout, I think my parents knew who she was, and even though they haven't played the game, that is of course, nerve-wracking. And you want to make sure, and we spoke a lot about on set, that you want to make sure that you honor this character that people already love and what she is. But then I think it's also important that you use that as an engine, and then it's also your responsibility to try and make it your own, and also give people something new and fresh.
Will you present this to Angelina to watch? I want her to see this.
I want to meet her.
You still haven't met her?
No, we actually passed one another in the same room at the Golden Globes, in the green room.
Yeah.
But no, and I she's a huge inspiration. She's a wonderful actress. I admire her too for being, a wonderful filmmaker, producer.
Yeah, we did an amazing job. That plane scene blew my freaking mind.
That's straight out of the game.
Yeah,
Almost,
it was so good. Alicia, good to see you. I'm curious how roles change you personally. Like, obviously, when you play a role on a show for a long period of time, like a Justified or a Sons of Anarchy, or wherever show you're working on, and then you have a movie where you have a 2-hour arc, I'm assuming that you walk away. A lot of actors will say, like, I don't take my work home with me, but I'm assuming they have to change you somehow personally a little bit. Like, can you talk about maybe did Justified change you whatsoever? Like, do you look at life?
Yeah, man. I think I think you wear them all. I think they're all kind of a part of your personality, and they all become a fabric of who you are, and the person that you will ultimately become. Maybe in the last 30 seconds that you're alive on this planet, right? That's kind of what it is. I have a child now, so I'm not afforded the opportunity to come home and brood the way that I used to.
Really?
That was a little different.
Bring it home with you?
Oh, absolutely, man. I think on The Shield, we all needed a psychologist at the end of that experience, man. But there were moments on Justified. There was one moment in particular where I was sitting in my kitchen, and I was going through just gossiping for some reason. And I don't gossip; that's just not my nature. But I was going through a list of my friends, and I'm sitting there with my wife having a cup of coffee, and I said, "Man, I don't like that guy. I don't trust that guy." And then somebody else kind of came up and I said, I don't trust, there's something about him. I don't trust him. And she said, I'm sorry, I'm not talking to Walton Goggins. I'm talking to Boyd Crowder right now. And it was at a point in the story where it was the last season, and Boyd was just, everybody was coming after him. And she was right, you know, and I didn't even realize it.
Did that freak you out?
It did freak me out for a minute, but then we started laughing, you know, and thought, you know, at the end of the day, look, it's a job. It happens to be a great job, and I happen to be a person who, I give a shit about what I do for a living, man. I really do, and I care about. I live my life with intention, in front of the camera, in this interview, or behind the camera when no one's looking, and that's the life that I've endeavored to lead, and my work is no different. You know, it matters to me. Things in this world matter to me, and so is there a residual kind of runoff? Of course there is, but on the other side of it, I think, like for Venus Van Dam, you know, that came at a period in this country's history where all of those things were changing, right? And I got to walk a mile in another woman's high heels, and it forever changed me, you know. And I have great empathy for the people that I've had an opportunity to tell their story, you know. So yeah, the answer to your question is yes. And in addition to that, since we're just kind of rolling here, so many things about this story changed my life, and you hope on the other side of a great experience like this, you will forge friendships that you will have for the rest of your life. Alicia is a very dear friend of mine, and
such a good performer.
Yeah, I mean,
she sells the whole thing. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, she's the you know, I mean, she's an actor's actor, and one of the greatest actors of her or any other generation. But in addition to that, we were also, all of us were in South Africa.
Yeah.
The seat of humanity. And with my time off, you know, I had a chance to travel all over Namibia. Spent 5 days with a Himba tribe on the Angolan border, not because it was easy, but because it was hard, you know, to quote JFK, you know, because it's all about soaking up as many experiences as you can, because in my worldview, you only get one go around, and I want to taste it all.
Man, that answer was amazing. I'm gonna put that on ringtone. That answer.
Hey man,
that was
there you
awesome,
go.
man.
Hey,
Awesome
brother.
talking to you.
Good to see you.